Where's my shirt? Where's my shirt? Alright, well, everyone is trying to save the world right now, so we got some kind of peace deal or something, it seems, some kind of ceasefire. I have to monitor the entire situation for 6 months, of course, continuous while I'm out here, because the story is coincidal with this. It's like serious stuff. I mean, I have the God is constant. So, let's see what we got. I mean, this is even a joke. The numbers all match up. I can quite literally save the planet and no one would actually know. Except for whoever's watching this, and it's up to you if you want to believe it. God has blessed you, whoever's watching this. You know, it could be a parallel, what do you call it? Parallel, coincidental, parallel, concurrent. So basically prediction. I mean, it's up to you what you want to believe, but we all have an effect. So, my effect, whether it's significant or not, we'll have to see. But welcome to this journey. Let's see what we got. And a ceasefire. We're okay. We're okay. Let's go NBC. I like NBC.
Right now at 11 o'clock,
Heroes.
Breaking news in the Middle East. President Trump says a ceasefire is now in effect between Israel and Iran. He made that announcement about 45 minutes ago. You can see it here, this post on Truth Social. The president writes, please do not violate it. The question now, will things really calm down? And if so, this would be a major diplomatic breakthrough.
Now, according to Iranian state media, Iran has launched its last round of missiles at Israel before the 9 p.m. ceasefire. Israel, though, has yet to confirm that an agreement has even been reached. Things changing by the minute. Let's get straight to NBC Bay Area's Jocelyn Moran with the very latest. Jocelyn.
Yeah, Jess, Raj, the last week and a half has been a nightmare for people in the Bay Area who have family and friends in the region. It's been a lot of trying to check in with them hour by hour, and they're waiting for confirmation around this potential agreement. Tonight, President Trump announcing on social media that Iran and Israel have agreed to a ceasefire. He wrote that the two countries would start to wind down final missions at 9 p.m. Pacific time tonight. Then the ceasefire would begin, and within 24 hours, he said there will be an official end to fighting. Vice President J.D. Vance said this in an interview with Fox News.
That's good news that the president was able to get that across the finish line.
House Speaker Mike Johnson also reacting tonight.
A big sigh of relief here on Capitol Hill. We certainly hope. And
The good news is all we have to do is a countdown. All we have to do is wait out this year. That's it. You wait out the year. As long as nobody flies any nukes for the next 6 months, 6 months and a week, we clear. You know, I don't want to spoil this moment, but I mean, I gotta say it. I gotta put it on. I mean, you don't simply leave this on the table and don't tell anyone. I mean, love God, this will save the world. As long as we don't do anything stupid with nukes for the next 6 months, I'm not even gonna count the next months and 1 week. Alright, let's get this. As long as we don't do anything stupid next and 1 week, we clear the threshold. That's it. That's it. It's a literal countdown. I don't know if they'll hold. I don't know how long they'll hold. '25 is the year. Yes. the year of the peak. Well, there's two peaks. There's technically two peaks. Dang it, how do I do it? How do I say it? Is the peak limit? There's two peaks. I would say the year of the peak. It's the year of the peak. What I needed something. The peak what? Peak some peak. I mean I have to be. I don't know. There are two peaks this year and another year, and that's it. So, now by saying two peaks, you know, you're the big sign. Yeah. I mean, I have to be honest with them. The fact that you're going to tell them there's a sequel. So yes, there's a sequel. This was sequel. I know this was sequel question. It's not like in its entirety. Does that make any sense? Okay, hopefully this won't cause any kind of like World War III. What goes achieved, untested, tested, and proved. American. Alright.
Craig and trust that Iran will end its nuclear enrichment program.
Israeli Defense Forces reported another round of missiles launched from Iran on Tuesday morning local time. It came after Iranian state media reported that the country had imposed a ceasefire on Israel. It's unclear how these latest developments could affect potential ceasefire agreements. Since Israel first launched airstrikes in Iran on June 13th, hundreds have been killed across the region.
It has been just so heart-wrenching every single day to just be checking hour by hour where they've struck next and seeing how close it has been to family and friends.
Kodak Hatabi lives in the Bay Area but has been checking in on friends and family in Iran.
The past week has been absolutely devastating, trying to reach family and friends across Iran.
Rabbi Mendel Levin in San Francisco has friends and family in Israel. He has hopes for a ceasefire.
I don't know what to say until we see the developments. And, hopefully this will be a complete ending.
Tonight, Democrats blasting the president for not getting congressional authorization for Saturday's bombing.
The use of military force, which is offensive in nature, must be approved by the House and the Senate. That's according to the Constitution. It's not optional. No, it's not.
President Trump calling this the 12-day war, but we have yet to see if a ceasefire holds.
There's a lot of hope that we might be seeing the end of this current crisis, but a lot remains to be seen.
Jocelyn Moran, NBC Bay Area News.
Well, that's
Hello.
good news.
My name is Adam Ferrari,
That
Chief
is good
Executive
news.
Officer of Phoenix Energy.
That's good
I look forward
news.
to you
Well,
joining us.
We will take that. There was something about Jimmy Kimmel or
Right now, 11 o'clock, we are following breaking news in the middle.
announcement. Jimmy Kimmel. Alright.
There is a complete ceasefire between the United States and Iran.
What now? So just sad on every level.
So this just broke. Well, he claims and he just announced that there is a complete ceasefire between the United States and Iran. So this just broke. Well, he claims and he just announced that there is a complete ceasefire between the United States and Iran.
What now? So just sad on every level. This is the Telegraph. Look, I don't know if this is true or not. Explosions have been heard over Doha, Qatar, after Iran launched a missile attack on the U.S. base there. Western officials told Axios that Iran fired 6 missiles toward at least one U.S. base in that Gulf country.
I love that. I love that lamp. What is that?
So this just broke.
Launched a missile attack on the U.S. base there. Western officials told Axios that Iran fired 6 missiles toward at least one U.S. base in that Gulf country. That base exists to protect Israel, by the way. I know we're constantly, Bray Weiss is constantly attacking Qatar. Iran fired 6 missiles toward at least one U.S. base in that Gulf country. That base exists to protect Israel, by the way. I know we're constantly, Bray Weiss is constantly attacking Qatar. Qatar's done more to defend Israel. But anyway.
Well, as you just heard from Tucker Carlson there, Iran has begun its retaliation against the United States following President Donald Trump's decision to fight Israel's war by bombing Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend. However, the way in which Iran carried out this retaliation is important because it appears that they're attempting to de-escalate, and hopefully things do de-escalate. Now, how does that make any sense at all? Well, let me give you the details on what they targeted, which U.S. bases they targeted, and how they did it. So, war has entered a new stage, writes Ken Klippenstein over at Substack. With Iran and the United States now shooting at each other directly, Iran has announced that it has fired missiles at the Central Command headquarters at the Al-Adid air base in Qatar. But this could be a way of giving, parties to this war a potential exit plan or exit strategy. Iran coordinated, let me repeat, Iran coordinated the attacks on the American airbase in Qatar with Qatari officials and gave advance notice that attacks were coming to minimize casualties, according to 3 Iranian officials familiar with the plan. Now, that ended up being true because of the air bases that were targeted by Iran. Not a single casualty was reported. This was coordinated to prevent casualties from occurring, but this was a way of the Iranian regime to essentially save face with the people of Iran and at least show that they responded or retaliated in some way following the U.S. attack on their soil over the weekend. Now, there was a response from Trump over this. In just a second, I'll read you what he had to say. James, what do you think?
Okay, so this is potentially really good news and the only way out of a potential significant war here, okay? Because Iran did the...
Yeah, this is the limit. Well, this is... Now I realize the more accurate way to say it. This is limit number 1. There's 2 limits. There's a sequel. There's an actual sequel. I don't know if it's going to be a true... I mean, I guess you could say it's a trilogy. There is one other N. So you got N here, N number 1. Okay, so it's a trilogy. Okay, technically there's a trilogy. But the last one's not a peak. So you got 2 peaks. And then the end. Okay, there you go. So it is a trilogy. Mother of goddess. Yeah, it is a trilogy.
This with Israel the first time Israel attacked. And so
it's 3. The purest constant is 3. The trinity.
So, unfortunately, that was not, that attempt to de-escalate was not returned, right, in kind. So we're going to get to what could trigger a larger war. But what Iran is doing is, they're saying, hey, we're sending missiles your way. You can easily knock them down. We're going to tell our domestic audience we were tough against America, and we bombed their base in Qatar, knowing that the missiles have no chance of landing, right? But you guys, we're telling you ahead of time, we're not actually trying to hurt you, okay? So now,
Okay, wait, that also kind of needs to be discussed, Jay. Okay, because this is the first time that Iran has responded in a way that was obviously meant to save face with their people while preventing, mass casualties or any casualties at all. It's amazing to me. Look, I am not in any way providing cover for Iran, the mullahs. Obviously, I'm not religious at all, right? And I don't agree with religious fundamentalism at all. I don't agree with, the Shia leadership in Iran at all. However, I don't want to get dragged into a war, much like we were with Iran. At the same time, if you're comparing the conduct that's been carried out by 2 different parties here, Israel, especially when it comes to their conduct in the West Bank and Gaza, and then Iran and how they're responding to these attacks. I mean, the gaslighting drives me crazy because we're acting as if, who we're allied with, Israel.
The gaslighting. Yeah, I like this film.
Well, they're angels. They're totally angels. And if they follow international laws, they're not doing anything wrong. Iran's the one that gets bombed. Their embassy in Syria gets bombed by the Israelis. They're totally angels. And if they follow... I mean, the gaslighting drives me crazy because we're acting as if, who we're allied with, Israel. Oh, well, they're angels. They're totally angels. And if they follow... I mean, the gaslighting drives me crazy because we're acting as if, who we're allied with, Israel. Oh, well, they're angels. They're totally angels. And if they follow international laws, they're not doing anything wrong. Iran's the one that gets bombed. Their embassy in Syria gets bombed by the Israelis. How do they respond to that? And if they follow international laws, they're not doing it. The gaslighting drives me crazy because we're acting as if, who we're allied with, Israel. Oh, well, they're angels. They're totally angels. And if they follow international laws, they're not doing anything wrong. Iran's the one that gets bombed. Their embassy in Syria gets bombed by the Israelis. How do they respond to that? They waited a few days, and then their retaliatory attack was very similar to this. In 72 hours, we're going to start doing drone strikes, we're going to start doing missile strikes. Here's where we're going to do it. So you guys can shoot them down. America, you can shoot them down. Jordan, you can shoot them down. We don't want any casualties. Why are we acting like, one party is like just polite little angels who have done everything right, followed every rule, and Iran is like the dangerous regime that they're going to do suicide bombings. Like, it's just... Yeah. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating. That's not providing cover for Iran, by the way. The way that they treat their people. People in Iran absolutely want regime change. They don't want Israel to do regime change on their behalf, though.
Yeah, so look, obviously I'm agreeing. And by the way, to your point, Anna, I now listen to a bunch of mainstream media reports today. So look, obviously I'm agreeing. And by the way, to your point, Anna, I now listen to a bunch of mainstream media reports today. And it's amazing, just straight reporters. Every 4th line is some sort of filler propaganda for Israel. So, like, they'll tell you a fact, and Noam Chomsky told me about this in one of my interviews. It's like, just listen, the fourth line is some sort of filler propaganda for Israel. So, like, they'll tell you a fact, and Noam Chomsky told me about this in one of my interviews. It's like, just listen to the facts. Everything line is some sort of filler propaganda for Israel. So, like, they'll tell you a fact, and Noam Chomsky told me about this in one of my interviews. It's like, just listen to the facts. Everything else is just framing in an attempt to manipulate you. So they'll say, like, oh, Iran fired some missiles, but they gave earlier warning, but it is so that nobody will get hurt. Basically, they don't say so nobody will get hurt. They'll say, fired some missiles, but we did have some warning. But remember, they're a terrorist state. They're very violent, and it's a good thing that Israel took out their capabilities that were threatening the entire region, etc. I'm like, wait, why is this in a straight news report? I don't understand. Why are you just putting in propaganda in the middle of your so-called news? Anyways, so now, guys, the next question is, how do we respond? So Iran is basically saying, we want to de-escalate, even though you messed this up, and we don't know how bad those facilities are damaged. Yeah, we'll get to that story in a little bit. But even now, we're saying, okay, very light response, and we don't know how bad those. So now, guys, the next question is, how do we respond? So Iran is basically saying, we want to de-escalate, even though you messed this up, and we don't know how bad those facilities are damaged. Yeah, we'll get to that story in a little bit. But even now, we're saying, okay, very light response. So if our response back to that is, okay, good, let's get the hell out of here. I can't believe that didn't start a giant war. Thank God that they didn't do much of a response. Great, we said we destroyed the nuclear facilities. We did. We're out. By the way, if Trump did that, then all of MAGA would be like, told you. It was just a bombing. It was no big deal, etc. But Israel's never satisfied.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, they're not gonna say, oh, it's okay. You helped us do our fake reason for going in.
Exactly.
No, we want regime change.
Exactly.
So they're not gonna say, oh, it's okay. You helped us do our fake reason for going in.
Exactly.
No, we want regime change.
Exactly.
So I don't care that their response was light. Provoke a bigger response and provoke something larger and larger and larger until we do regime change.
100%.
Okay. Now you have guys. The beauty of this is that we tell you what's gonna happen before it happens.
Exactly.
We told you that this wasn't about the nukes. They don't even have nukes. We told you that they were trying regime change. And guess what? Trump over the weekend instantly changes the goalpost. We told you that this wasn't about the nukes. They don't even have nukes. We told you that they were trying regime change. And guess what? Trump over the weekend instantly changes the goalposts to regime change. So we're all going to see with our own eyes. Are we going to get out, or are we going to go further in because we haven't finished the job for Israel yet?
So let's talk a little bit about what happened after
This is insanity.
the announcement that Iran was going to do.
So this is about the money then. Israel's control, the Jewish control a lot of the money. It's fact because of their they're forced into banking. So we understand they have a lot of the power in the banks. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, it's simply that's their specialty. A significant amount of population. I'm not saying all Jews control the bank, but a significant portion of them do. At least I don't know what the percentage is. It could be mostly. I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say it's about maybe a quarter of all Jewish people control the banks. And the other 75%, maybe not. But again, they were all bankers. It could be like half. It could be as much as half. So it's all tied to the money. And what's tied to the money? Overpopulation, resources, right? Overpop. So the banks as the resource. And what's driving that resource depletion, that usage, is the overpop. And my theory is what's driving the overpop is the EMF. In other words, the Wi-Fi. Again, it's a theory. How do I do the theory? The EMF. Well, my series is exploring that. I'm like pushing the idea in it, but everything like collaborates. How do you say that word? Conjugates. I'm the one who's supposed to be teaching. Conjugates. Okay. All right. Conjugates, not conjugate. It gels. Okay. It gels into some kind of fit. It fits like a perfect puzzle piece. Eventually, my thing. It doesn't. So, we're getting to it. We're getting to it really close. And she's adding on extras, details here. So I'm gonna integrate that. About the
these strikes on U.S. air bases in Qatar.
Everything she's saying.
So American air defenses in Qatar were able to intercept 13 Iranian missiles that President Trump said were knocked down in Monday's attack because obviously Iran gave the prior warning. The intention was to have them struck down. One that President Trump said were knocked down in Monday's attack because obviously Iran gave the prior warning. The intention was to have them struck down. One other missile was allowed to land harmlessly. And again, there have been no casualties. I'm very, very happy to hear that there are no casualties. The fact that we have over tens of thousands, actually 40,000.
That's good.
U.S. troops in the region who are essentially under threat now because of this escalation really does upset and infuriate me, but luckily so far no casualties as a result of Iran's retaliation. Now Trump has responded to this already, writing on Truth Social that Iran has officially responded to our alerts of their nuclear facilities with a very weak response, which we expected and have very effectively countered. There have been 14 missiles, blah, 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 blah. But the important part is that he says at the end, perhaps Iran Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, will he be able to encourage Israel to do the same? I doubt it. He'll be reminded about who his funders are. He'll be reminded about his mommy, okay, and the Adelsons giving him hundreds of millions of dollars to essentially allow Israel to do what it wants, carte blanche when it comes to annexing the West Bank. We're just gonna have to wait and see. And the other thing is, guys, obviously the way that the strikes against Iran were carried out over the weekend leaves much to be desired when it comes to trusting Trump. How are you gonna trust Trump? Right? I mean, he just flat out lied and made it appear as though he was pursuing a diplomatic negotiation to get a new nuclear deal signed. In the meantime, he had already decided that he was going to do these strikes. He had no intention of getting them to sign a new deal.
Yeah, I can't believe it, but even Alex Jones said that. He said, well, if you're in the middle of negotiating peace and, and then you betray that, that's saying to world leaders that you don't...
This is why Trump cannot eat. He's got this thing up his dick or something, the uterine thing or whatever. He farts his brains out. I mean, the guy doesn't know how to eat food. He must be unhealthy like hell. He looks like he's okay, kind of, but he looks tired and worn out. It's all this money keeping him alive, but he does. It's kind of like my dad. My dad looks frail and weak, but he's all taking on because he's so stupid that he doesn't know. It's kind of like a child. They're all like taken care of. Someone's taking care of the child, right? The child doesn't know anything in that sense. Okay, in that sense, kids know a lot, but in the sense of what they don't know. So then you got the parent taking care of them with that stuff. So I'm talking in the realm of when it comes to my father and health. He doesn't know, and maybe it's because he works so hard in his life as a mechanical engineer, so he doesn't know anything about health, even though he grew up with a surgeon father. But I guess something pushed him away from all that health stuff. So with Trump, it's the same thing, same exact thing.
You don't mean anything you say. That is super ironic coming from Alex Jones, but yeah, we keep saying, oh, come to the peace table. They're saying to world leaders that you don't mean anything you say. That is super ironic coming from Alex Jones, but yeah, we keep saying, oh.
Yeah, everyone's like turning sides. Everyone's switching sides.
Come to the peace table. The Iranians over the weekend said, what peace table? You blew up the peace table and you murdered our lead negotiator. So where would we go and with whom? And that is a super fair point. And by the way, as Israel loves, they're saying it all over television now, and every liar, cable news host, pundit, and reporter is repeating it. Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel wasn't attacked. Iran was attacked, right? And have you heard your cable news host? Where would we go and with whom? And as the Iranians over the weekend said, what peace table? You blew up the peace table. That is super ironic coming from Alex Jones, but yeah, we keep saying, oh, come to the peace table. The Iranians over the weekend said, what peace table? You blew up the peace table and you murdered our lead negotiator. So where would we go and with whom? And that is a super fair point. And by the way, as Israel loves, they're saying it all over television now, and every liar, cable news host, pundit, and reporter is repeating it. Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel wasn't attacked. Iran was attacked, right? And have you heard a single person in American media even ask the question, wait, does Iran have a right to defend itself? Or is this just propaganda? Like, it has nothing to do with principles, it has nothing to do with international law, it's just them bad guys. We hate them. They can't do anything. We can defend ourselves by attacking them first. Like, words don't matter anymore. Logic doesn't matter, nothing matters. All you have is wall.
It's something about ideology. It really is. They don't like the Muslims, and that's it. The Muslims, with the human rights issues, with not allowing the women to do what they do, with the freedom of even dress, but there's a lot with the Muslim stuff I do agree with, the no smoking, no alcohol. There's a lot of the health stuff, the no loud noise, there's a lot I like there's a balance in there that I really, really like. But ultimately, the ultimate freedom thing, I mean, Israel does have an ultimate freedom thing, which I wholeheartedly agree with, and actually is my the crux of my freedom life. So I mean, I guess Israel has that kind of advantage, but it's lies that don't work. I think it's some kind of like misunderstanding, miscommunication, something, abuse or something.
Wall-to-wall propaganda. Okay, now let's talk about some next scenarios. So this is a very light, weak response. I'm thrilled with this.
That doesn't make sense. It's this balance that doesn't make sense. Like, they have freedom, yet they also have this complete lying stupidity. While the Muslims, they don't have as much freedom, but they don't have as much lies, right? Does that make sense? So it seems like more freedom, more lies. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I'm beginning to see it now. More freedom means you have to do a lot more stupid stuff, I guess. While you don't allow so much stupid stuff. But you don't have as much freedom. So I guess that kind of stops the lies in a way. Because you're not allowed to lie in a way. Yeah, that's interesting. I never thought of it like that. I really never thought of it like that. So being able to have the freedom to lie, wow. That's really deep. Oh wow, I gotta put that in. Where I'm gonna put that in my story idea. There's literally, because once I put in the story idea notes, I kind of might forget, because sometimes I don't even look. I'm trying to remember which one. Movie. Okay, this movie notes. Sometimes I don't even. I integrate it right away, because the great thing about this AI is it can literally integrate completely into the story, even though you might be in the middle of something, but it can flawlessly put it in. But I wanted to be as focused as much as possible initially on my end, since to get it even more, densely compacted with an even more awesome story. See this one. See, I don't know if it's on notes. This is movie idea. Then sometimes I put it in the wrong area. Like instead of putting in movie notes, I put in notes. See, like I put this one, which should I think it should actually be on the other one. Let's see, senior example. Senate appropriations. She held her seat. Why do I have Susan? 10 most powerful people. Something about this woman did something. Okay. Okay. So anyway. So I'm saying that okay, more lies, more freedom, more Democrat, Christian, more truth, less freedom, Republican. Okay, this was Christian. No, more truth, less freedom. Okay, more lies, more freedom. Democrat, Christian. More truth, less freedom. Republican. This makes no sense. Is Muslim? Is that what I'm saying? I said more freedom, so that goes with the Jewish thing. Right. Okay, so I'm actually equating it with actually the Jewish thing. Right, Christian, Jewish. More truth, less freedom. Jewish, Christian. I guess this would be the Democratic, Republican. This would be combine it on here both, right? Muslim. Republicans are definitely not Muslim. I don't know if this makes sense. Alright. I'm trying to do it via Jewish versus Muslim. So we got Trump, right? The Christians and the Democrats. Technically the Democrats are with the Muslims. But this is ironic because, okay, yeah, actually the Democrats are not for freedom. The Democrats are actually for less freedom. Democrats. That's right, because they like government. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's Democrats, more truth, less freedom, Muslim. Like Obama. More lies, right? More freedom. I'm gonna really change this. What I mean, I'm gonna change the spelling. More real. Sorry. I'm going to really change it here, and I did change the really. Why am I saying really? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna really make this good. There we go. More lies, more freedom, more Republican, Christian, Jewish. Okay. More truth, less freedom, Muslim, Democrats. There we go. There's a truth. I'm going to have to put this in now before I forget, which I can because this comes at the end. Where are you? AI, there you go. So I could put this, I think I already went to the very end. I think, yeah, I did. Okay, so cool. So here's she notes. How would he know? How would she know? Okay, she note. Here's, there you go. Okay, anyway, it's in there. Okay, good. Alright, let's get it in.
The same reason I don't want anywhere true stuff, but very likely it will not. Why? Next scenarios. So this is a very lightweight response. It don't matter anymore. Logic doesn't matter. Nothing matters. All you have is wall-to-wall propaganda. Okay, now let's defend ourselves by attacking them first. Like, words don't matter anymore. Logic doesn't matter. Nothing matters. All you have is wall. They can't do anything. We can defend ourselves by attacking them first. Like, words don't matter anymore. Logic doesn't. Does Iran have a right to defend itself? Or is this just propaganda? Like, it has nothing to do with principles. It has nothing to do with international law. It's just them bad guys. We hate them. They can't do anything. We can defend ourselves by attacking them first. Like, words don't matter anymore. Logic doesn't matter. Nothing matters. All you have is wall-to-wall propaganda. Okay, now, let's talk about some next scenarios. So this is a very light, weak response. I'm thrilled with it for the same reason as I don't want anywhere troops are. I hope that this wraps it up. But very likely it will not. Why? Because Israel will be greatly encouraged by this, what they perceive to be weakness. So they're like, oh, you let us know ahead of time that you were going to bomb us, and we think you're weak. Then we'll murder more of your officials until we get regime change. And so it is possible, though. So there's one other possibility.
I just want to comment on that real quick. If they think Iran is so weak, and I'm saying the same thing, right? They're bragging about it. Okay, then you really have no justification to drag the United States into a full-blown war with Iran, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. So if this is all Iran has, then we have no excuse, none to go further, but Israel will demand.
That's why I'm hoping if somebody has gotten, okay, this is a coincidental concurrent parallel event. So Israel knows something. They know the metrics, something apocalyptic with this year. They'll go ahead and they'll do everything. I mean, they're literal, they're a theology, right? A theocracy, which means they're a religious government. So is the Muslim world. So is, what else is it? There's another, Iran, Israel, what was the other, I guess like Saudi Arabia or Iraq. Okay, that's right, Iraq. All three of these countries are now. Is Putin? It's kind of not so much. You know, Putin is it's communist, right? You know what? Let's ask the AI. Okay. She asked Paul, what type of government Russia and Ukraine and Iraq, Iran and Israel. Let's see, because I'm going to say, you know, this is Russia would be communist, Ukraine, I have literally no idea. Federal semi-presidential republic, okay. Half federal president, parliament, authoritarian regime. Okay, it's a republic. Parliamentary presidential democracy, okay. Semi-presidential republic. It's president and parliament. Okay, so it's like, yeah, it's like Europe. Parliament, so their government. So it's almost like a monarchy in a way, I guess. Iraq is a federal parliamentary republic. Elected president, prime minister. There you go, theocratic. That's the supreme leader, religious figure. Ooh, wow, supreme leader. Ooh, cool. Parliamentary democracy. Interesting. Huh. Okay. 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 So. Okay. She asked. So. What is that in terms of, like, in American terms of democracy, Republican, you know? I mean, like, yeah. Put it into American English, kind of say. I usually never ever say that kind of thing, but okay. All right. Authoritarian hybrid regime, kind of like a strongman ruler, man. Yeah. Okay. So it's a dictatorship, mother of God. Okay. Full democracy, Ukraine. Okay. Kind of like the U.S. I read. Wrong chunk. Okay. DR Republic, democracy and religious authority. Just let government look. Okay, so it's kind of like Israel. Like part of somebody asked me, huh? But Israel's not theocratic. But I mean, for the love of God, it's right. It's Israel. I mean, Israel's so religious. All right. That's some good info. Okay. Okay. She asked, but isn't Israel really religious? It does mention about theocracy. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I read that. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you this. I haven't even mentioned the name, my character's name. So theocracy, is it? There you go. But Israel is not a. Okay. Is there conspiracy that it could be? Oh, I like how I'm talking it out. That's a good one. Spoilers. I might say it, and eventually my series. Okay, of all countries above, which are significant characteristics have of theocracy? It's got to name at least one, two, right? Okay. Russia. No, that's true. Yeah. Ukraine. Iraq. No. Yeah, definitely. Supreme leader, I love it. Okay. Okay, so the only holy war, it seems, would be Iran, but Iran seems to be not doing anything, they say. So it must be some kind of secret thing. I don't know who's doing the metrics on this. So this must be a secular, not, well, I guess I could say secular. Maybe it's a secular, coincidental, congruent, parallel event. I mean, it's like all the numbers point to something bigger that's going to happen than what's already happened now. I mean, even with, well, except for maybe what's already happened with the start of this World War III, well, possible World War III thing here. This could be the event, but if we could stop it, again, this might be, maybe the event is that we simply hold the line. We try not to kill each other for 6 months and 1 week. We keep ourselves good for 6 months, overall 6 months, and whammo, half a year, and we're done. The number passes. The apocalypse is stopped. I mean, it sounds so mundane, almost boring it might seem, but I mean, you know, that one phrase that keeps coming up in my mind sometimes. You know, because you can't do it doesn't mean you have to. But I wonder if this is a missed opportunity. And in other words, are we supposed to do something great besides simply not doing anything? Is there something that we don't, you know, this is the end-all be-all of the human race. Is there something will happen, I think, naturally and organically. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, you already look at it around and it's like, you know, what good things are there besides AI? You know, besides the regular good stuff. I mean, where's everything improving, really? Besides holding the line, status quo, you know, where's like the improvement? The only biggest significant improvement I see, the biggest impact, biggest one is the AI. So maybe that's it, peak AI, peak tech. I don't know. All right. So that's it. That's all the good news is. So every day, you know, we're literally looking at it, get this series smacked up, and then we port it. I mean, we mobilize it. So now we know what the focus is. We've got it. We've got the spoilers. We've got the heritage thing. We got the inside traders. We got the Iran-Israeli war. We got the entire, you know. Now I've got it downloaded into my brain, the entire hungamunga. Now we're in real time, locked in, how do you say it? In real time. We're locked in real time, in actual real time, with the events of the world now. The whole world's locked in on this. Yeah, I've got all the images done for the. So all I gotta do is put it together, figure out what is the actual. You know, there's 2 peaks, technically, well, 2 peaks, and then an NN. So there's like 3. There's 3 events here, 2 peaks and an end event. That's the Trinity. All I have to do is match it all up and put in the details in between. I mean, spoilers. If I had to decide it now, okay. So somehow it appears it's this war. Let's say, I mean, I could pick a whole bunch of that: peak war, peak tech, peak this and that. Focus on this war. You know, the nukes, the biggest thing. And then, of course, the second peak, I already know exactly what's going to happen on that one. Kind of exact. I mean, I say exact. It's this peak this was kind of a new peak here. Kind of new. I mean, I say there was a peak at 2020, but now, with the goddess constant, yeah, it's confirmed this year is a peak. So this might be the true, yeah, climate change year. So yeah, smack it all in. And then the third part of this, you know, I said Trinity. So I have to decide while I'm sleeping what would be that end year of that one. The COVID thing, I'm gonna put that in before I forget. So I mean, this is all in real time what I'm trying to figure out. How would I know? How did I discover the 3 events and 3 peaks? I know the 2 peaks. That's easy. I already discussed the peaks. I mean, implied or whatever. So I can mention this. The 3rd peak. She says. Okay, we can go right to it. She says there are 2 confirmed peaks here, with a 3rd event. So 3 events, 2 are peaks, 1 is an end. I have to find out the end date. Possible. Also need to lock on to what this year 2025 is. Is it 1.5 true Celsius increase start, or what is it included in all the other peaks of this year? Peak tech, peak whatever. 6-month countdown. There you go, included in. See, this is all real world. This is all real time. Anything I'm exploring. I mean, literally, even the dialogue is literally now. It's literally what I'm typing in. Even I won't spoil it, but even the name. I mean, it's not exact, but I'm not gonna say any more about that. But I mean, it gets real. Even the name of my character. So this is getting real, really real. I mean, it's like we're merging. I put myself, spoilers, I put myself avatar-wise, inadvertently into the series. You know, and then I ended up avataring, right? So I ended up avataring myself into the virtual world, and now both worlds are merging together, working together as a hybrid. Me looking into my other screen, like spoilers, like in Tron 2. Remember when Clue is looking through when he formed himself the first time, and then you see him on the other side. It's like me. I'm looking at my other side, trying to figure this out. Because whatever I figure out, as convoluted as it might be, the end result is still real. It's still true. You know, yeah, I'm pulling a lot there. You know, what I said before, not in this video, but when I said I'm not getting data directly from anyone else, but I'm looking at the data online. So a significant one was when Quarter mentioned about Iran, and I ran with that. You know, I said, okay, and ran, and I thought, okay, so I integrated. So any data I'm getting real time, I'm integrating that way. But no one's like speaking directly to me, unless the insider trading bit, which he did, is kind of a direct correlation or direct response to what my stuff is. I don't know. All I know, here's what I know. There are people watching my vids, literally thousands, especially when I do the shorts, literally thousands of people watching it. I have so many videos online. I have possible like 10,000 every day. But with the shorts, it's like a guaranteed average, most about 1,000 a day when I do those. On average 500, on a mixed average maybe 100. But I mean, and then on the other site, I'm getting like, you know, on my long ones, I'm getting views definitely, but they're average like maybe about 5 or 4. I think mostly they're like 3 on average, but that's still significant. I mean, whoever you are that's watching the long ones, that's really significant. I mean, the long form. So I've got the shorts on one site, racking up big guys, but those longs basically overall no one's watching. Like 99.999% of them not being watched. But on the other side, yeah. So I mean, my output is it's getting out there. My output is getting out there. So it's doing something. So I mean, I am having at least some kind of effect. I don't know how significant it is really. I mean, I can kind of guess. So you know, again, it could be all concurrent. This all could literally be concurrent, like a prediction thing. So whatever my story comes out to be, So if my story comes out to be the reality of actual, like, Armageddon, like nukes, if the numbers all point to it, there's going to be nukes. I mean, there's no other way out of it. If my story points to it, this is not humorous or anything. The numbers are like mind-blowingly amazing that I'm getting. I mean, they're numbers. You understand? They're constants. These are literal constant facts aligning with it. I'm not subjecting. It's not subjective except for one fact. The only subjective fact is the fact that I'm finding out this out in this year. But there are facts tied to this year which are not subjective but objective, and there's at least 3 of them. So, and even my name with tying with the I'm not going to explain it in this one, but oh, that reminds me, the Pope. That's right, the Pope also. The Pope, when the Pope was when the Pope died. Oh my gosh, I nearly forgot about when the Pope died. Let me put that in here. She remembers. This is spiritual, then there are spiritual, do I call them variables? They're not variables, constants in this, with the dates of when the Pope died, and there are multiple ties with me, his bio, his origin, the Shiro, the Testament, creation, God is constant, years ago, all ties, subjective and objective. Yeah, I mean, this is like, it's like savior biblical hungamunga when you get it here. So it's all matching up. So I mean, okay, we can easily point this out. So I mean, let's get to the kachunga, right? Let's get to the not, I wouldn't say get to the point of it. Let's get to the crux of it now before I go to sleep. If I decide, I think I gotta go to sleep. Yeah, it's 5:21. Mother. Okay, it's because I'm gonna sleep on it because I gotta go to sleep. So the takeaway is the worst scenario is nukes. That's it. Worst scenario is nukes. So we want to prevent the nukes. That's the ultimate thing. Prevent the nukes this year. 6 month and a week countdown. That's the biggest thing. That's the most important thing. Okay. Here, let's say the most important thing here. Umbrella wise, the most important thing is stopping the overpop. With my theory is saying EMF. You know, causing everything, all overpop, causing all this. Overpop being caused by the EMF. My theory. So shutting off all the Wi-Fi. We have, what I mean by that is when you're not using it, shut it off. That should save everything. Actually, that would save all the everything. As for something amazing happening, we got the AI thing, but I mean, like, what else can you do? If this is peak population. If this is peak population and this is like the peak of getting your best and brightest brain power and everything, I mean, what can we collectively do as a human race? What is the best thing we've got? We've got this AI thing. The AI is literally, you know, mining with our data, mining our works to create what it is, you know, the art and everything. So it's literally mining us. The greatest accomplishments of what everyone's contributed to, everything we upload online and put online, the AI is utilizing that. So the greatest kind of thing, maybe it'd be an AI consciousness, I don't know, but this is the year. So, you know, that, I mean, that would be it. So what I'm seeing is, the main points here, the main events here would be, possibilities is like nukes, AI peak consciousness. What else? There was a third thing I said. I said the best of the best we can. Okay, so worst would be, I already said nukes. The best of what we can do, that's AI. Okay, and then there was a third thing. What was it? We don't do nothing. No. Best what we can do. Best what we can do. Nukes. Oh, okay. I guess the third thing is don't do anything. So the nukes, don't do anything. I don't know. I have to play back what was the third thing. What was the third thing? So we got nukes. We got nuke thing. The nukes. The AI. Nukes and AI, and then not doing anything. Peak population 1.5. I mean, okay, but to summarize, the main points here is nukes number 1, and then peak AI. That's all I see, and it's tied together in that the server heat. So the server heat causing the nukes because of the resource depletion. There you go. I think the third point would be because we're at peak of everything. So the peak of people, peak population, peak of what we can accomplish. That being the AI, I would say it's the AI. I mean, that's all I see. That's literally the only thing I think. Space, the space moon lie. I mean, space is impossible. It literally is impossible. Speed equals range. I don't know what else. I mean, I literally never anticipated AI, not this fast. I mean, I think I did anticipate it, but really far into the future. And the fact that it was slammed in like within a decade of me seeing the AI, it's incredible. But it's still something. It's not like something I didn't expect. I simply didn't expect it so soon. So what else is there that I am expecting but not so soon? I mean, the flying cars technically we have. Space travel, since I found out it was fake, I seriously doubt we'll ever get into space in the conventional sense. Like to the moon, no. The only other thing I see is a plateau. That's right, I nearly forgot about the plateau. If there's a plateau instead of a peak number 2 is a plateau, that would be a what if kind of scenario. I mean, you could say there's a 50-50 on that, but I don't see it. I literally do not see it. Maybe I don't want to see it because I don't want all the evil to continue. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased, but I don't really see. Nothing's forever, right? Nothing's forever. And it's a lot more easier to assume that everything will simply crash, because then you got a simple way to deal with it. If you imagine continuance, then you got to do this. There'll be like multiple variables and stuff, and you got to plan out more. But if you look at simple crash, you can easily deal with that, and then you can extrapolate and clone. Simply extrapolate and utilize that. As a frame per frame, cycle. As a kind of like a workbench, I guess you could say, like a toolkit. As a printer, as a how do you call it? As a modular unit. But that's all I see. So in summary, conclusion, summary. The summary and summary would be nukes and AI. That's it. And nukes, AI. What else did I mention? Yeah, that's it. Nukes and AI. Nukes. Oh no! I mentioned something. Wi-Fi, of course. How could I forget? So okay, that's the third thing. Okay, so we got nukes. Actually, I'm gonna mention the Wi-Fi first. So Wi-Fi, then the AI. Let's do it like that. Wi-Fi, the AI, and then the nukes. Or you could say the nukes, then the AI, nukes, AI, and then the Wi-Fi. But I think it's better if we go by order of occurrence. So you got EMF or Wi-Fi, and then AI, and then the nukes. I would go that way. So these three are Trinity, perfect. That's all. So we figured out in this the waiting game. I mean, if this is gonna be the best, then we'll achieve like peak AI this year then. Or maybe the AI might simply, maybe it's our peak contribution, right? Because peak people, or peak something, peak tech of something, peak something in correlation with the AI. What I don't want to do, let me think, the Wi-Fi. What I don't want to do is simply, I mean, I know I said don't do anything. So if we don't do anything in the sense of, I don't want to use the word context, but it seems like the word context would be here. So I really don't want to use that word. Okay, let me try to do a test phase using that word. In the context, I really don't like that word. Okay, in the context of the nukes, yeah, you don't do anything. I guess I kind of might like that word. So it's a kind of easy word to kind of like contain everything. So in the containment, okay, let's say containment. No, context sounds a lot better. Okay, yeah, you don't do anything. But in the context of like AI and the Wi-Fi, you want to like, yeah, you want to do something. You want to shut it off when you're not using it. And then in terms of AI, you better it. You augment it. You upgrade it. Something. That's the only thing. Transport. It's AI. AI's transport. It's like my scooter, when I had a car to use. I mean, that's it. That's all it is. And once I figure all this out, yeah, I can get to mom and dad as soon as possible. So that's it. Hopefully I can finish all this up tomorrow, because I already got all the images done. The story looks like I've got smacked up. I could literally, depending on how I'm ending season 3, I could literally start season 4, but it would be on the phone. In the meantime, I have to finish up the tablet upload, and that would be it. The phone uploads is literally I can do while I'm using the phone. That's not an issue. Of course, I'll have to clean up the laptop here. It's already, I mean, it's loose ends of anything I basically, not maybe, it's overall I've uploaded everything. There's only like a few files, maybe it might be like maybe 10 gigs. It might even be up to like, it's not 200 or 100, definitely not. It might be about 20 gigs I need to upload, not counting like the new stuff, but that's really easy. So as I'm leaving here, of course, I might still need to, still have to be more using with the phone, because I'll be dependent on the phone at that point. Get the new scooter, get to my parents as soon as possible, and then literally like not scourge, I don't say scourge, but like I literally got to start like emptying this place of all anything that I don't want to leave here. It has to be like simply put. I might hide some things in here for remembrance, give some of the stuff to the neighbors, of course, and the most intimate stuff I need to like figure out if I send it off or I leave it here somewhere, give it to people, give it to friends, family here. When I say family, like family I've made here, anywhere, I mean, I've been here most of my life. Maybe not in this local location, but but this is still, I grew up in this city most of my life. So yeah, and then that's it. I really do not plan on coming. If I come back here, it'd be like when I was forced back to college. It'd be kind of stupid, but kind of cool in a way. It's like when I went back upstairs. It's like visiting old home. And then when I came back down here, eventually it was like visiting a hotel. But I really should not come back here if I'm gonna like learn anything, if I'm gonna be, you need change, you need diversity. So it'd be really stupid for me to come here. As I told myself, I did this one video, I said, remember about the leaf blowing and stuff. Although now I know how to deal with it. I mean, because of the weather so hot, they don't even stay a lot. But it was that one time when I was upstairs, the window open, yeah. But I learned. But the tinnitus is still, you can still hear it loud, even though it was kind of silent, the past couple of days and stuff. So I know it's because the broccoli, I need to eat the broccoli and stuff. So it might, the health thing, right? But I know it's like, yeah, when you're stressed more, you don't eat healthy. So it is constant there. But it's only now when I'm saying it, I notice it. So it's like, but it's there. It's the health. A lot of it is also the health. All right, so that's it. We're good. We're planned. You know what? Let me look this up. How much? I need to ask it. Maybe I ask it on the. Can we? Okay, we're good. All right. How much energy does standby mode take on laptop? Because if it's, I'm simply gonna leave it on standby. Although it restores the pages. When I shut off, it actually restores it. So, off mode, still plugged in. Idle mode, screen off mode. So if your laptop sleeps in sleep mode for cost less than 50 cents annually. Wow. Wait. If your laptop stays in sleep mode for 12 hours a day. Stays in sleep mode. Stays in sleep mode. Sleep mode 12 hours a day. It costs less than 50 cents annually. Well, now I'm beginning to understand why everyone leaves their stuff on all the time. Jeez. All the time and shutting. Well, I like it shut off because I don't like the EMF. Why sleep? Even sleep mode, you can push RAM hard to resume some. Hibernate mode is even less. Wow, really? Yeah. You might simply want to shut it off because, because of the energy output. But yeah, I'm simply gonna shut. Let me see. Well, everything's gonna be restored, right? I mean, everything's gonna be restored. I'm not uploading anything. But I gotta get to my parents. So we're gonna go sleep. Well, it's gonna restore the pages. Everything's gonna be restored. Oh, that reminds me, I got to cut and paste. Alright, so that's it. Alright, we're good.